Radio SLCC, your online student source. It is a good day to be here with you guys. It is April 10th of 2014 at 1:12, and I am here with Caden Carsey in the studio today. How's it going, Caden?
Oh, man, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Doing good.
Great.
Glad to have you here. Caden actually owns his own yoga studio, and I have some questions about, just owning your own business, and also a little bit about, just kind of like what you do every day and things like that. But good to have you. Thanks for coming in.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, we're going to actually go ahead and kick off with the song first, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk with Caden some more, so don't go anywhere. Here's some Amber Lynn for you with Someone Anyone here on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Amber Lynn. Good starter for us here on this lovely day. And I'm actually in shorts. It's good short weather out there today.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
Big time.
Just in case you didn't know, I don't know if you knew this, it is actually National Sibling Day.
Sibling Day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's also National Farm Animals Day, too, which I thought was kind of funny.
Idea.
But, yeah, anyway, random thought for you. Well, I just have a couple questions here for our guest speaker today, and it's only because I feel like depending on how the way people answer questions, you learn a lot about people the way they answer questions, right?
Right.
So I just wanted to ask you a couple questions just to kind of get to know you and kind of give our listeners an idea of who Caden Carsey is.
For sure.
So get some great music here for you. Which, by the way, Tyler Lamp pointed out, this is actually from Tony Hawk Skateboarding.
Classic.
Yeah, right?
He would know that.
He would know that. So my first question for you is, so you're Caden Carsey. Where are you from?
I was born and raised in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
And I lived in South Jordan, grew up there my whole life. So, yeah, it's been really good. I love it here.
Awesome. And your season of choice?
Season of choice. That is tough. I mean, we live in the state where, we get to enjoy all 4 seasons.
In a day.
I'm a big snowboarder, but I also love being outside, golfing, enjoying the summer weather as well.
Yeah.
So favorite season, I'm going to have to go with late spring.
Okay.
Late spring, early summer.
Because you get a little bit of everything there.
Yeah. Plus my anniversary's in that day, so we usually get out and go play a little bit. So.
Good for you. Nice. My next question for you. I had this list of questions, and I totally lost my notes.
That's
on
okay.
Here.
I'll tell your teacher.
Yeah. So, okay. So next question for you. Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
It's Backstreet Boys. Come on.
There you go.
Hands down.
Oh, yeah, you just never know. There's some people, I think there's a couple people who are a little bit older than us that tend to go for NSYNC or even 98 Degrees. But
yeah. So this is what I figured out, that like 1989 kids, they're NSYNC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Us 90s champions.
That's right.
We're Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny is, yeah, Backstreet Boys. Yeah. I don't know. I had nothing else to say about that, but I just thought it was funny. Next question for you. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Pet peeve. So I have, like, with other people or myself?
Both.
So with other people, it's got to be like chewing food, like smacking and swallowing.
Smacking noise.
Yeah, differently and awkwardly, like especially like just really loud and obnoxious. It's something that gets under my skin a little bit.
Yeah.
But myself is when I'm cooking. And especially when I'm cooking eggs.
Yeah.
And I like to flip my eggs in my pan. So like without using a spatula, just use the pan to get it. And if I break the yolk, oh man, I go crazy. I just lose it. I go nuts.
That's funny. Chicken or beef?
Chicken.
Chicken?
Yeah.
Good choice. And let's see. I had one more question for you. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
You're good.
Yeah. You know what? You're done with school.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about your education.
So I just graduated. I guess it's not just. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
I graduated in 2012 with my bachelor's in health education and promotion.
Awesome. Where at?
So from Weber State.
Awesome.
Yeah, Weber State University. So it was a great program. We did had a good time up there at Weber State. It's beautiful up in that Ogden area. So really, really nice. I went here to Slick, proud, represent.
What?
Got my Associates of Science here, and then I transferred up to Weber State.
Good for you. Awesome.
Yeah,
So do you plan on taking that bachelor's a little bit further? Or?
I'm still deciding.
Yeah.
There's a couple things hold on, a couple things in the air, you know, if I want to go. I mean, 'cause that's like a partner program with like health administration. So
Sure.
if I really wanted to, I could master in health administration and go down that route. But you know, that whole industry is kind of just like on the fence right now, up in the air. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely a good possibility. I really value education, and I think it's a really good thing to have. So we'll see.
Awesome.
You know?
Well, cool. Yeah, well, there you guys go. That's Caden Carsey for you. We're going to come right back after this song break. We are actually going to go ahead and listen to some Chevelle. Throwing it back to some Chevelle.
Nice.
With some Vitamin R, which I haven't actually listened to until last night. But great song. And then we're actually going to come back and we're going to question Caden a little bit more on his business and what he's doing now. So don't miss it. Here for you on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Vitamin R by Chevelle. Good song, and that was actually kind of a throwback too. I haven't heard that one in a long time. So Caden in the house here today. Just got a couple questions for you as far as your business goes.
Mm-hmm.
The point of this show, when I first thought about it, was I wanted to think of a show in which I could bring in like young entrepreneurs who are doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I know that there are students out there who want to do things and they're just like too nervous or don't know where to start.
Right.
And so that was the whole point of this show, and I'm glad that you're able to come in because you own your own studio.
Right.
Volaire, right?
Yep, that's right.
So where's Volaire located?
So we are in West Jordan.
Okay.
Just right off Redwood Road, 8821 South, Redwood Road. Just in the business condos there across the street from Golden Corral.
Cool. So now let me ask you this: how did you get inspired to become a yoga instructor? Because you're a health person, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get into yoga?
So I got into yoga when I was actually going to school up at Slick, or not Slick, excuse me, at Weaver State.
Yeah.
So my parents, they always talked about going to Bikram yoga. You know, they did Bikram yoga and they loved it. So I'm like, I'm going to give this a shot up here. And so I found our local Bikram studio up in Ogden, and my wife and I decided to do the 30-day challenge up there of the Bikram yoga. That's where you do Bikram yoga for every day for 30 days. And so, and it just felt so good. Like just from that first pose, just walking into that room, you know, obviously it was cooking, 100 degrees, 105 degrees.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love. Just like this is awesome. This feels really good. It just really connected with me, hit me home, right in the heart. So, at this time, you know, my wife and I were just talking about possibly moving back down here to West Jordan. And she wanted to explore the aesthetics route.
Sure.
And so, you know, I'm like, I'm just gonna look into this yoga teaching thing and see what it's like. And looked at tons of different programs. You know, University of Utah, possibly even doing Bikram, and I stumbled into what's called Life Power Yoga. So this is the study that I took up, and this is actually founded by Johnny Kest. He's just an amazing guy, visionary when it comes to yoga. He's like, you know, it's like more of like a modern spin. You know, it's got a modern spin on yoga, but it's got traditional roots. So, you know, we'll be doing, you know, yoga to modern music, you know, kind of stuff like what you play on the station, just to keep it fresh and sensual. You know, it's really fun stuff. So I found that, did the training with Micah Scholes, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. I love it.
Cool. Well, how long have you been in business for?
So we actually, I literally think we're almost to the date, a year.
Really?
Yeah. We've this month, this week that we're in is when we started seeing our first clients. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So clients. So you have returning clients. I mean, how big would you say like? I mean, like, if I were to try and schedule an appointment, would it be hard for me to schedule an appointment, or do you guys always have space?
It depends. You know, like on the yoga side, you know, our classes are getting fuller and fuller.
Yeah.
You know, as time goes on. You know, some days there might be, you know, you might have trouble getting into a class, but typically speaking, it's, you know, if you just prepare and plan ahead, you'll be fine.
Yeah. So tell me, because your spouse works there with you too.
Right.
And you said she does some of the aesthetics part.
Yep.
So tell me each of you guys' roles of what you do, because she does aesthetics, but she also does a little bit more as well, right?
So she's a master esthetician. So
okay.
She does everything to do with skincare, facials, eyelash extensions. That's exact. She's known. She's becoming very, very popular. I'm gonna even say almost famous for her eyelash extensions.
Yeah.
She's absolutely amazing at it. She does really, really good job, and her clientele. She's to a point where she's getting really, really busy. Where you have to call ahead, and she's usually about a week and a half out.
Oh my gosh.
With her clientele. So yeah, she's amazing.
She's good.
Yeah, she's to say the least.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome.
She's amazing.
Let's see. So
just kind of go into the roles like you were saying there. So I run the yoga portion. So I teach yoga daily at our studio. Most of our classes take part in the evening time. But we'll have some morning classes as well as on the weekend, kind of like mid-morning, mid-afternoon classes on the weekends. So I teach all the yoga, have a good time there, and then I run some of the back end stuff, like sales, marketing, just stuff to keep the functionality going. Make sure that we can keep the doors open, the lights on.
Right.
So, but she also helps with that too. Not only is she mostly like the front lines of the business. She's working her butt off and staying super busy there, but she also really, really helps a ton with like the money side. She's really, really good with numbers and like math and the accounting side with it. So I usually just let her take care of that portion. And, it's worked out really good. There's nothing better than working with your spouse. Like it's so much fun. Like to have that time together and it just opens up like a whole other world, because like our minds are just like constantly going.
Right.
We're always trying to figure out things and how we could do things better.
And you have to.
And how we can stay fair and help people, because that's all we care about. Like if money weren't the issue, like if we didn't have to put bread on our table,
right,
we'd be doing this stuff for free just because we like to help people, and especially me personally with the yoga route.
Yeah.
But it's really fun.
That's cool. So now creating the business.
Yeah.
Was that hard?
It is not a walk in the park.
Okay.
That is for sure. We always just like even going back before we even opened up the business and thinking about let's start our own business. Let's do our own thing. Let's do things the way we want to.
Right.
That was our drive. That's what got us going. And then we started researching and how the heck are we even going to do this? So getting the doors open and getting everything put on paper is a challenge. There's a lot involved. There's a lot of preparation that goes into, having a good, solid business plan, like that you could just like hand over to someone and say, hey, don't just hand it to some stranger because they might steal your idea.
Yeah.
But like a lawyer or something to say, hey, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this? Can this work? That's the process that we went through. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. You can take it as far as you want. You can pretty much do whatever you want within reason of the law.
Yeah.
And just making sure that you get yourself set up properly, just to protect yourself, because you can set up as like sole proprietorship. You could do a partnership.
Yeah.
You could do like an S corp, which is what we did, and we found that to fit our business model and our ideas a lot more comfortably, just to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
To go that route. So we just put together everything there and worked closely with our lawyer to get things up and going. And
awesome.
And here we are.
Cool.
Doors are still open a year later. So
awesome. Yeah, that's good. And so everything's a positive. So everything's good.
Yes, exactly.
Let me ask you this: if you were to give somebody a piece of advice, like one of the biggest or best pieces of advice that you could give somebody who's in a situation of maybe I do want to open up some sort of studio, whether it be yoga or something with fitness, what would your biggest piece of advice be?
So if it's in the fitness world, it's something that I want to say you have to be passionate about. I mean, just like with everything. I mean, every career. I mean, everything can get kind of just like stale and boring over time, right?
Yeah.
But if you really, really love what you're doing, you're gonna have just that little extra spark inside you to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And to just be like, yeah, this is the reason I got in here. This is the reason I started this business.
Yeah.
Because I care about it, right? So if you have that drive and you have that passion, that's what's going to keep your business moving, and that's what's going to set you apart from your competition too. Because you could be a personal trainer. I mean, CrossFit's super huge right now. They're popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
There's lots of different things. I mean, even in the yoga world, I mean, there's thousands upon thousands of yoga teachers out there. And every style is a little bit different, and every person has a different approach to the way they teach. So, just making sure that you're in the right location and you're appealing to, your right market that you want to get in front of, that you feel like you can have your biggest connection with.
Yeah.
That's going to be the most important part. So, just if it's something you're really passionate about, just do it.
Just do it.
Research it. Do your homework. It's going to cost you a little bit of money to get up and going. I mean, it's not going to just cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, it could potentially, but
right.
I mean, I didn't have that kind of money. I mean, all the stuff
right.
that we started off with was, just money that we saved up and that we put together to make happen. So, that's definitely a driving force for it. But just do it. If you're something you really want to do, I mean, there's so much like corporate structure in the world, and so much. I kind of feel like we're to a point where people are just kind of sick of that stuff. So
yeah,
just be different. Be who you are. Be yourself, and just do what you want to do.
Awesome.
Well,
cool. Great piece of advice, and thanks for being here, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah. Well, I have some more yoga questions for you, only because I've never done yoga. I do want to take a class. I'm not just saying that to BS it either. I swear I really do want to take a class. So I have a couple questions of things that I've read about yoga and I'm curious about. But also want to have a little bit of fun. We'll have our Throwback Thursday segment.
Sweet.
So we're going to hit all that up. So don't go anywhere. We're actually going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some more music and more of me and Caden here for you guys here on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Switchfoot with Love Alone is Worth the Fight. That's actually from their new album, Fading West. Are you Switchfoot?
I haven't listened to them in a long time. I like that song though.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. That's they kind of got a different type of feel of their music now. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So now that I got you back here after our short little break, so yoga. Let's talk yoga.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know anything about yoga.
All right.
All I know is I've always secretly wanted to try it, but I don't for the fear of feeling like an idiot.
Okay.
So what I did is I actually even did a little bit of research as far as because I always imagine if I were to do yoga, I'd feel awkward. Mm-hmm. And so I Googled awkward yoga is what I did. And it came up with this article that somebody had written. And it just talked about a couple of things on there. I mean, it talked about being late and that can feel awkward. But then I was reading a little bit more, and there's other ones that caught my eye more than anything. Mm-hmm. What I wanted to ask you was, because you as a yoga instructor probably see it all, falling onto somebody else. Does that ever happen?
Falling onto someone else?
Yeah, if I'm in some position, all of a sudden I just fall over onto somebody else. Does that ever happen?
No, I mean, unless they're assisting each other, because we like to do the crazy yoga stuff too at our studio.
Okay.
So unless you're spotting in headstands or handstands and stuff, is sometimes people will fall on each other, but I couldn't even tell you a time that's happened.
Oh really?
That in my studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why I wanted some clarification because I
mean,
saw
it's
that
possible, but it's not
pretty spaced out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. No, I just thought it was people are falling on each other in yoga.
Yeah.
All right.
Acro yoga, I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Okay, let me ask you this, because it sounds like there's a whole bunch of different yoga styles.
Oh yeah, there's tons, dude.
Hundreds?
I wouldn't say hundreds, but maybe close to 100-ish. Maybe.
Ish. Cool.
I mean, because people can put different spins on it and try to make their own stuff too,
Sure.
but it all comes from the same place.
Cool. All right, here's another one for you. You might know. Do you know what a savasana?
So Shavasana.
Shavasana. There's no H in that.
That's okay. I know. Shavasana. So,
Shavasana.
Yeah, so that's the ancient language of Sanskrit. So that's the language of yoga. It's a dead language now, so don't even worry about it. So
go ahead and explain what the position looks like.
Okay, so Shavasana, the direct translation is corpse pose.
Okay.
So literally you need to be like laying like a dead person would.
Okay.
So your feet are wide. You want your feet just to flop open to the side, arms come out to the side, palms face up, and you want your heart to be the highest point. So this position, this position is designed to release and heal your body. So some people feel like a tingling sensation in their body. We describe that as prana, which is your life force or your energy that runs through your body. And that will heal you and help repair your muscles, emotionally, physically, spiritually, however you want to take it there.
Yeah.
But in this pose, you want complete silence. You want just that space. You don't want to be thinking. You don't want to be doing anything. No muscular engagement.
Just be free.
You just want to let things happen.
Okay.
So it's a conscious pose. Don't get me wrong. You don't want to like fall asleep in it or anything. Some people do.
Okay, that was my question. Was with this particular one is because people tend to fall asleep in this position.
Yeah, that's normal.
Is it?
Normal. It's especially like when you've been working really hard and yoga is much more than just a physical workout. We're also working out our brains mentally just as much as we are physically. So that's kind of why people fall asleep. They're just like, they just completely let go. And it's a very, very healing resting pose.
Okay.
Very, very grounding. So it happens. And, sometimes the instructors will go around and we'll do some what we call adjustments.
Okay.
They're more of like a connection, just like a little bit of massage. Thai massage, during that posture sometimes will happen. But yeah, there's times that I've scared people and they literally just like jump out of it and it's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But it's really fun. It's a good posture.
I was just curious
because
because
everybody works for and what people look forward to.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is because I didn't know what the position was, and so in my mind I was imagining like being folded up and then falling asleep in that position,
like in the fetal position.
Yeah.
So that's the pose you do after Shavasana.
Oh, really?
In my classes at least. Yeah,
that's funny.
So corpse pose being symbolizing death, dying, and then we do a fetal position.
Sure.
And after that, symbolizing rebirth.
Yeah.
So whatever that means to you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, cool. No, I didn't know what it was, and so when I saw that, I was like, people fall asleep at yoga studios. But that would make sense when you're in that position. That makes more sense.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just laying flat on your back. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's another thing which I've never thought of, and then when I read it, and I talked to you a little bit about off air, but when somebody passes gas, how often does that happen?
So it happens, more often than not. Sometimes we'll all laugh, have a laugh at it. If you try to like hide it and cover it up, that's kind of like when it becomes awkward. So, but I have such a wide range of students that I have 14-year-old students all the way up to 65-year-old students.
Oh, really?
So I have such a wide range, and obviously my little ones are gonna laugh and make it less awkward or more awkward depending on the person. But it's just one of those things that happen. We just call them yoga noises.
Yeah.
Like it just happens. Like kind of like going to the beginning of this, like you want to make sure that you have empty bowels and empty bladder before you do yoga. That you just have a much better practice.
Really?
Yeah. So you always want to try to get that taken care of before you start. Just so you have a better practice and you lower your chances of that happening.
Yeah.
And not have to leave class and disturb class by coming in and out of the studio.
And going to the bathroom.
So, yeah.
No, yeah. Well, because I would imagine I would giggle a little bit, but I didn't want it to be like, like inappropriate or like you can't do that. So
yeah, for sure.
It's all good.
You know,
It happens. It's a bodily function.
It's a fine line for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say, yeah, just come to my class and pass gas. You know what I mean? But, like, at the same time, like, I don't... it's a safe place for you to grow and learn. And it's just one of those things that may or may not happen. It doesn't happen that often. Yeah. But once in a while it does. And just don't be embarrassed. You know, that's the big thing. Just go with it. Like, every guy that I talk to who says they want to start yoga, dude, what if I fart? You know what I mean? Like, that's like the first thing that comes out of their mouth. Not like, dude, what if I like totally have self-enlightenment, bro? You know, like, nothing like that ever happens. It's always like, dude, what if I fart? So, you know, so it's like, that's what always comes up, and it's just like, just don't worry about it. Yeah. It's all good.
That's cool. I was just curious. I mean, and another thing I was talking to you about was, I mean, it sounds like you actually have a lot of, like, male clients.
Yeah, yes.
And one of the things is, I mean, I don't think yoga is a sissy thing, but in my mind, I've always imagined it kind of being like the girls are going out to yoga.
Right.
And so I think that's another thing that's always been in the back of my mind as far as, like, I've wanted to try yoga, but I'm not going to be, like, the only guy there in a room full of girls.
Right. So I really have a blended studio now. It's my male presence is almost as equal as my female presence is. So traditionally, going back to, like, the roots of yoga, it was only a male thing way back when in the day. Traditional yoga, you know, like, if women were caught doing yoga way back in the day, like, socially, it was just, like, weird. Like, it wasn't acceptable at that point. And yoga was only taught on a one-on-one basis. There was never
like a group session
as a group class. You know, and then things started to change, you know, and just evolution happened, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, this modern age, you know, I mean, in our minds, you know, the yoga thought, the yoga, especially with women, it seems like it's more of a female market. But it's really, men are starting to get more into it. They're starting to realize how beneficial it is.
Yeah.
So not, you know, like we've talked about, just mentally and physically, just as beneficial for anybody. But, you know, men are starting to get more into it and actually caring about their flexibility. You know, if they're huge CrossFitters or runners or whatever, it's really helping them out.
Right.
You know, I have ex-Marines in my class that, you know, it's helping with their PTSD and, you know, anger type stuff. Yeah. And, you know, now they're doing all this cool yoga stuff and they love it. So good. Yeah, it's really fun. I would say it's an equal ground for everybody. I mean, yoga's just yoga to me now. Right. Like, it's something that's there for everybody.
Cool.
You know, it's kind of like medicine.
Awesome.
In a way. It's like a science of medicine.
Well, there you go. Something new about yoga. I had no idea. I'm glad that you answered a lot of, I mean, I don't want to say it answered my fears or questions of fear, but it answered a lot of questions I had in regards to yoga. And I think it definitely helps a lot of other people. I actually got a text from a friend who just said, I passed gas in yoga once. he just laughed about it. But,
that's awesome.
That's funny.
That's awesome. So, yeah, it's there to help you. You know what I mean? Like, yoga's especially the style I teach. The style I teach, it's all about you. Yeah. You know, we're so focused on taking care of other people. Yeah. And, like, other people's, you know, lives and trying to fix other people. Sometimes we don't realize we need to kind of work on ourselves and try to take care of ourselves. Totally. So I really try to help people with that and just be like, you know what, this is your time. This is your time. This is your practice. Put everything else on hold for just 1 hour. And take care of yourself. Love yourself. And see what happens. Cool. Yeah.
Awesome, man. I mean, this has actually been really cool. I've actually learned a ton. Towards the end of the show, what I want to do is I kind of want to do like a contact you kind of a thing. Okay. And just you know, some of the things that you guys offer, like as far as classes, because I know you do group sessions, but you also do like I saw Broga.
Yeah, so
sounds awesome.
Yeah, Broga's a good time.
So totally want to jump on that a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, we're an hour into the show. We're actually going to go ahead and take a quick music break. We'll be right back. We got some fun things to talk about. I threw it out there about prank calling. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have a history of prank calling. It's funny.
Yes, we do.
We actually also have a Throwback Thursday segment, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for you right after the Killers here on Radio SLCC. But so anyway, there was just a couple things I found interesting on KSL. So the University of Utah, I don't know if you know this, they've actually always had some sort of controversy with, the mascot. Now there's controversy with the fight song, and in the fight song it says, "A Utah man am I."
Okay.
And so there's controversy over it, and now they're wanting to, fix the fight song so it doesn't say Utah man. So I know that there's a lot of people who are kind of frustrated with this and think it's really dumb, and I think it's also really dumb. And the only reason I think that is first off, they actually got the whole Ute thing fixed with the NCAA, and actually even had like people from the Ute tribe say that it's okay, like no big deal.
Right.
And so I think, if we have the okay from them, I think we should also have the okay with like the fight song. But I don't think it's because it's like an Indian thing. Obviously, it's not like an Indian thing. It's obviously just people feeling sorry that maybe women aren't included in it. Like,
gotcha.
Like not to step on anybody here, but
right.
I don't know. I think it's interesting how soft we are now. Like,
yeah. I agree with that.
Like, I don't know like how to explain that any more than that, but like
that's a good way to put it. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and so anyway, I mean, it got me thinking because there have been in some circumstances where when people have complained about something, they've got it changed. For example, what was something I saw? But anyway, I was just thinking about when teams end up changing like their mascot or something, and sometimes it's a crappy mascot.
Yeah.
And I was just curious, and so I did a little bit of research on what I found to be the top 10 worst mascots that you could be.
Okay.
And some of these you will not believe. So let me go ahead and start off here at the University of Arkansas. And obviously there's going to be some junior colleges in here and things like that. So University of Arkansas at Monticello So University of Arkansas at Monticello Bull Weevils. Bull Weevils.
I don't even know what that is.
Bull weevil. It's
like when you say that, I'm thinking of like a maggot swimming in a bowl of cereal.
That's what it is. You got it. And then it's like when they have like women's teams, because like women's teams, like they're like Lady Jags or Lady Miners, anything like that.
Yeah.
So their women's teams is the Cotton Blossoms.
The Cotton Blossoms.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty.
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty, but bull weevils.
Yeah, that just kind of grosses me out.
Just another weird mascot I thought of was the Philadelphia Phillies, the Philly Fanatic. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
It's just like this big green guy, and it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
But it's almost like the Utah Jazz bear, like where the Utah Jazz were not like a cymbal or like a saxophone, we're a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
at all.
like it's interesting. I mean, we have a cool mascot, like he's super awesome.
Yeah.
But we're not the Utah Bears.
Yeah.
So
kind of silly.
Yeah. Another one on here. This is super funny. So the Evergreen State College, which is in Washington, Gooey Ducks.
Gooey?
Gooey Ducks.
Gooey Ducks.
It's like a snail.
That's a gooey duck.
So it's not like a duck stuck in some goo. Like it's
like
a snail.
Like an oil or something.
I don't know, but I go Gooey Ducks. I don't know. So a School of Arts, which I mean obviously isn't going to have like a team or anything like that. However, I just thought it was a funny name. North Carolina School of Arts Fighting Pickles.
Fighting Pickles.
Fighting Pickles.
Man. So those art students must be doing some crazy stuff.
So just Fighting Pickles, I just thought was funny. Coming back to the West Coast, University of California, Santa Cruz, Banana Slugs.
Nice.
And then Scottsdale Community College, Fighting Artichokes.
Maybe they did this just like increase their student body. Maybe it's like, yeah, I want to be a slug,
Fighting Artichoke,
gooey duck. Yeah,
gooey duck.
Yeah.
I mean, a gooey duck almost sounds interesting, and then you look it up, and it's really quite disappointing. Yeah. All right, the next one here is actually local. I thought it was actually funny. Did you know that Jordan High School is one of the nation's worst mascots?
No, I had no idea.
Jordan High School, Beat Diggers.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst It's on a whole bunch of lists as far as like high school names. It is one of the worst mascots you can have. And we got it here in Utah.
I know.
Go figure, right?
That's funny.
Philadelphia 76ers, the basketball NBA, Hip Hop the Rabbit.
Hip Hop the Rabbit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an okay mascot. Has nothing to do with 76ers. I don't know how that comes into play. However, Hip Hop Rabbit, just like if you Google the mascot, it's super goofy looking. But apparently he's super awesome. Like,
that's cool.
Pretty acrobatic. But and then the last one I thought on here was interesting. Trinity Christian College Trolls. Like ogres.
Things that live under bridges.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just super weird. I don't know. I couldn't think of why. I don't know. People name their schools weird names. But anyway, there you go. I just thought it'd be kind of interesting to talk about some funny mascot names because, yeah, I mean, we got one in our own backyard. So, and with the whole University of Utah thing, I hope it kind of just blows over. No big deal.
Yeah, hopefully.
But, anyway, so I actually wanted to come to our Throwback Thursday segment here. And as I was thinking about it, me and you actually go really far back.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, like all the way back?
Yeah, like all the way back. I mean, we grew up together. We're from the same neighborhood, but it just worked out. You happen to open your business. That's why you're here.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like you, so
that's a plus.
but anyway, I was just kind of thinking of what I wanted to do, and I don't know if you remember this.
Oh my goodness.
My first Burn CD had this song on it, and it was you that put it on there. It's Deep Deep Trouble. Bart Simpson is singing the song, and it's super awesome.
Dude, I totally forgot about this.
Yeah, I'm totally going to link this to my Facebook, so you guys, if you want to check it out, go ahead and check it out there. But
it's a good song.
It's a good song. It's a good, clean song, actually. Like, a lot of people think, oh, Simpson's bad news, but
that was so funny. I totally remember that now.
That and Ice Ice Baby seem to be the song.
That's right.
But anyway, I just I don't know. Do you want to do rock paper scissors to see who wants to go first for the Throwback Thursday segment?
Sure.
Really?
Ready? Go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what I did.
Yeah, that was not
so.
even.
So you won. So do you want? So do you want?
You go.
I'll go first. Okay. So I'm actually gonna go. It's actually throwing it back just to Hybrid Theory with Linkin Park.
Yeah.
To be honest, I this album came back in 2000. We were like 10.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard it was actually at your house, and I'll be completely honest. It was when we would always play pool.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd always jam this song. And for the longest time, I thought it was devil music.
Yeah.
I mean, not like devil music, but it was just like...
I get it.
I don't know, like...
It was hard.
Yeah, it was hard.
Back in the day, that was...
Back in the day, it was...
Like, being
it was,
10 years old, you know,
it was hard stuff, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, But little by little, it started to sink in on me, and Linkin Park's definitely like one of my top favorite bands now.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
I'm actually going to throw it back to some Crawling by Linkin Park, which isn't one you hear too often, but good choice.
This is a good one.
Yeah. So here's some Crawling for you guys here on Radio SLCC. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Radio SLCC, your online student source, and there you go. Linkin Park with Crawling from Hybrid Theory back in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2010. 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
2010, that's like yesterday. But yeah, so there you go. That was my Throwback Thursday. So now that you won the rock, paper, scissors, now it's your turn. What did you tell us about your song?
So I want to throw back to some classic POD. You know, this is kind of around that same time frame. But Youth of the Nation by POD is the song I've chosen today. Man, this was like the anthem for a long time. Like, this song just like totally psyched me up. Like, back in the day, you know, we just like crank this and like play video games and pool and rollerblade around the basement and stuff. But yeah, this song it's a good song, you know. It kind of gets you hyped up. But like, the thing I think about it now, like, I love like the unity the song brings. You know, like, you feel like you're close and like,
yeah,
you know, it like unites you, because like you all just like sing that chorus together.
Yeah,
it's really melodic. So
how old is your wife? Let me ask you that.
My wife, she is 22 years old.
Okay, so she knows who POD is, right?
Yeah.
My wife had no idea.
Yeah, had no idea.
She's a 93 baby, so she's a little young, but
yeah.
I thought it was funny because, I mean, this song came out 2001.
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That is weird.
But
I know I've been making like all these like decades playlists, and like seeing when these songs actually came out, like,
it's crazy.
Like doing like these 2000 playlists, you know, like kind of like modernizing it a little bit. I'm just like, what? That came out at that point? I'm just like, man, I feel so old now.
Yeah, and it's funny because I mean, some people I've talked to some people. I'm like, 2001, that was forever ago. I mean, they're like, oh, that's not that long ago. That's a long time. It's like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Like, when you think about it, it is, but it doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it. You're right. It's a good way of putting it.
For sure.
Anyway, here's some Youth of the Nation for you here on Radio SLCC. We'll be right back. Youth of the Nation for you here on Radio SLCC. Good Throwback Thursday song.
I know. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I just made me feel so good.
Yeah.
listening to that song. Yeah,
It's a good strong song.
yeah, totally.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, those were our Throwback Thursday songs. I planned a couple other things as well, as far as I thrown out earlier on Facebook about prank calling,
Right.
and yeah. So I totally want to touch on that.
Okay.
Okay, you have something in your mind.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was just curious. Like, I've never done like a request on like I've never called in or texted in a request for a song or anything on any radio station. But I was curious. Let's see if you have a song for me.
Sure. What's your request?
So Darius Ruckert.
Okay.
I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah.
The good-looking guy from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay.
Anyway, so do you have History in the Making?
I do. Let me pull it up for you.
Awesome. So this is actually my wife and I's wedding song, and I just wanted to throw it out there, give my wife a little shout out, tell her I love her so much, and I'm so grateful for everything that she does for me. She's such a beautiful person, inside and out. She's just amazing. So this is for you, babe.
Okay, well, there you go. So here's some history in the making with some Darius Rucker. Hope you guys enjoy. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Lost Prophets with Make a Move. And sad news, they're no longer together, thanks to a big foul-up by the singer. But no big deal. But yeah, so just as we were on the break, I was talking a little bit. Well, not on the break. I mean, on Facebook, I threw it out there as far as prank calls. If anybody's done any prank calls, hey, me and you actually have a funny history of this.
Yes.
And I just thought it would be a good topic because I thought about it and I was like, man, I should throw that out there if anybody has any good like funny prank call stories. And what me and you used to do, we always did it at your house. Did we ever do Star 67?
Yeah.
I don't remember the Star 67 part.
Yeah.
But I guess you would have to.
Yeah, I remember. I don't think we did it all the time, but I think once we found out about it, we started using it.
Yeah, that's true. All the time makes it sound like we were like awfully bad and we're just calling everybody. No, and we didn't even really call that many people. I know we called the kid across the street.
Yeah.
And totally had him fooled, making him think it was someone else. But the best part about our prank calls that we did is it wasn't like, oh hey, is Nick there? And like just like try and fake something out. Like we would get like on a soundboard.
Yeah.
And if any of you don't know what a soundboard is, you just go to a website and you pick out like an actor's like soundboard from like a movie. Like we did a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Arnold. Yeah.
And get down. Like you'd always just like press the button and then it would like.
Who's your daddy? What does it do? I remember that one distinctly.
You kicked my dog.
Yeah.
That was a big one too. And we would click on soundboards with people and sometimes people would laugh and then there'd be other times we'd be like, who is this? Come on, man. And we never told them.
Crazy, yeah. No, I don't think I ever found out.
Do you have any funny prank stories or is that the only one that you could think of?
Those are like, I think that's pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah.
I don't really go in much farther than that.
So, I actually thought of one, because that was the only one I was thinking of, but on the way over here I thought of one. I served an LDS mission in Argentina, and I actually was in the office for a long time, and I was the financial secretary in there,
mm-hmm.
and we had a house secretary, so he'd like kind of watch over the houses and make sure rent was paid, things like that. Mm-hmm. And some sister missionaries, he was also over like in charge of the cell phones, and some sister missionaries are having problems with like their cell phone. Mm-hmm. And he's like, fine, just leave it on my desk. I'll take care of it. And I took his phone by accident because I thought it was mine. And so I took it into my office. And then when I picked it up, I realized it was theirs. And I was like, oh, I'll give him a call for the heck of it.
Nice.
And so he answers. And he's a Latin. So he's from Argentina. Yeah. I start talking. I was like, oh, yeah, we're the sisters. And we're just like, I just talked to him like in a fake voice. And he totally fell for it. Like sometimes you know when someone's faking it. Apparently, he didn't understand when it was like a guy trying to be because it was an American sister missionary. So he gets off the phone and he's like super frustrated and he's just all like, do you know sister so and so? She sounds super ugly on the phone. I overheard it because I was in the office behind him, so I could see him talking to our regular secretary to the side. Yeah. And when he said that, I just busted out laughing, and he didn't get it. And then I finally had to tell him it was me. And
that's hilarious.
It was pretty funny. But so we had a couple of people put on here some funny prank call stories. Like I said, I also asked my class right before I left. I'm just trying to pull it up. I don't know what I did with it. So Actually, I do have to touch on this as I'm pulling it up. Tyler Lamp put on here that he scared you. And let's hear the scoop on that.
So, back in the good old middle school days, we were at my parents' house, and I was using the restroom, and he happened to be using the restroom, and so that little Morse code thing, that knocking thing, yeah, exactly. So we're playing around doing that, and he was doing it back and forth and stuff. And so I did it, and he didn't respond back. I'm like, all right, so I'm sitting here doing my thing, and he just comes barreling around the corner, and he just scared the living crap out of me. I screamed and cowered, and it was horrifying.
Yeah.
And he just lost it, and was just rolling on the floor, laughing so hard, and I was just laughing so hard because I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, it's kind of a funny moment.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Nothing to do with prank calling, but it was hilarious.
Yeah. That's just for you, Tyler. You son of a gun.
So just a couple of people who've been posting on here. My friend's prank texted me by texting a boy, telling him where I lived and asking him to come over to make out at 7 o'clock. He said he worked until 9, but he would come over after. After finally seeing the messages, I texted the guy and told him it was a joke. I'm sorry. He never replied, so I left the house all night just to be safe, so that no random kid was going to show up on my doorstep looking for me. Another
That's
one.
Funny.
Yeah.
He was probably super bummed.
So Annie Wood and Jason's sister, she put, because they own a family restaurant. So I love calling Woody's when a new employee's there. I place an order and then just talk to them, ask them about their lives, but I don't tell them it's me. It's kind of random.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
That's funny though.
So did you see my post on here? Do you know what I was talking about with there used to be a phone number that used to get passed around to people?
I kind of remember this.
And I don't even think it was some guy in Utah. I think it was some dude in Vegas or something.
Yeah.
And he'd get super upset. Stop calling me, and
yeah, he would lose it.
He would go crazy.
Oh, leave me alone. Yeah.
Because people knew his name too. He let his name go on the phone. And so then it got passed out. This is Ming's phone number. Give Ming a call. I don't remember if that was his name, but I know it was somebody from the Orient.
Yeah.
And he would freak out. And I remember we tried doing it one day, and the phone was disconnected.
Yeah,
so I got sick of it.
Blame him. I think I remember that. Did we get through to him?
I don't know.
We did, right?
It was probably something that me and you did, but I was trying to think. I remember hearing about it and then thinking we should try that. And
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I remember how angry the guy used to get.
Oh, he is so mad.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Some other ones. So these are some of the ones that I heard from some classmates in my last communications. So shout out to Communications 2150, Intercultural Communications. What? So I used to call Petco/pet stores and ask if they had any sea monkeys available, and apparently people would really go yeah, let me go check. And they'd really go check. So either they were really fool, they were let me put this idiot on hold for a second and let him think I was really looking for it.
That's funny.
A girl said I did this to my best friend and she wanted to kill me afterwards. So call someone and say hello. This is my made up name. From Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors. You have 31 seconds to name all 31 flavors of our ice cream to have a chance to win $31 million. Ready, go. And then when the time's up, you just laugh at him and just say,
That's good, though.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's good.
I'd be done for. I'd just be I give up. I don't know. And I don't know. I don't go to Baskin Robbins.
I don't either. Cold Stone, represent.
Yeah, right. All right, so get 3 or more guys to call up the same number at 15-minute intervals and ask for Joe. Then wait another 15 minutes, and the last guy calls and says, "This is Joe. Any messages for me?"
That's good.
That is good. That'd be annoying.
Yeah, it would be annoying. Funny.
So call KFC and ask for McDonald's phone number. I called some random lady and told her she hit my dog with a car and she started crying. That's pretty bad.
It is bad.
So this is one that a kid had interaction with. It said, "Hello, is Mr. Wall there? No, sorry. How about Mrs. Wall? Nope, sorry. Are there any walls there? No, sorry, you have the wrong number. Then what's holding up your ceiling?" I've heard the refrigerator one. I've never heard that one, though.
I've never heard that one.
That was pretty clever.
That's good, though.
Yeah. This one I've always wanted to do, and I always just thought I'd get caught. And so it was just call like a random pizza place and order a whole bunch of pizzas to some other person's house and then just sit and watch outside your window. Like it's like watch your like neighbor or something get a whole bunch of pizzas that they didn't order.
That'd be funny.
So this one
they'd have to pay for it, and then they would kill you.
Yeah, that's a problem because the thing was like, yeah, order like 50 boxes. I'm like, 50? That's a lot. That's like, that's expensive.
Yeah, they probably would like want prepayment over the phone or something.
Yeah, now they would. But back in the day, back in the day, you couldn't.
Yeah.
So tell somebody you're in their backyard watching them and sound serious, and if they ask you what they're doing, what you're doing, you just say, I don't know. Or if they don't know, so the person you're calling says, well, okay, well, what is it that I'm doing then if you're outside my window watching me? I don't know. I'm in your room. It's a little freaky.
A little freaky.
A little gross, but floats your boat, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a couple of our prank calls. Any other ones that you could think of?
I can't think of any.
Dude, you're good. I mean, the only thing that first came to my mind was literally calling Nick Young.
Yeah.
And making him think it was somebody else.
Yeah.
And we even used Arnold's voices, and we convinced him that it was somebody else. So there you go.
Oh, it's
funny. So we are going to take a quick music break. Let's see. You know what? I actually got a couple of choices on here. I've got... Go ahead and you choose. So I got My Chemical Romance on here. Story of the Year, Seosin.
Let's do Story
of the Year. So this is from Sidewalk. So it's a little bit more on their quiet side, but also a good choice. So here's some Story of the Year. Sidewalks right here on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Paramore with some Misery Business. That's another old song that we were just talking about it. There's people that just don't make music like this anymore. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there is, but it's not as common.
Yeah, for sure.
But
like, you gotta find like, you have to go into the country world almost. It feels like to get like raw talent. But even there's still like some like modern country artists who are trying to like auto-tune and synthesize too. But
yeah,
but like they just have like raw talent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The classic rock days, like the hair bands and like, these people are just like they're kind of just letting computers do their job.
I mean, which is cool because I mean that's the way that things are going nowadays.
Yeah, totally.
Which is fine, but I mean that's exactly what you were talking about was like. I mean, I'm okay with rap and hip hop. I'd prefer not to listen to it. Like I tend to listen to a lot of my music still, and I feel like I get so out of the loop sometimes with like newer music.
Yeah,
it's just because I just miss like people making their own music rather than like, oh, let's hear our computer make a beat for us and then we'll go off of that.
Yeah,
which I think is still cool and it's pretty talented. But
don't get me wrong, like I love all that stuff too. Like all the dubstep and electronic music. Like that's super fun stuff. But yeah, no, I get it though. I get it. Like it still takes talent to make that stuff. I mean, the computer will do some of the job for you, but I've played around with that stuff a little bit. But it's there's still like a mindset, and you still have to have the creativity to make it happen. Yeah. So I mean, it's still good, but just like that raw talent, just like someone pick up a microphone and just kill it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, we got about 6 minutes left. So to kind of end up wrapping up the show for you.
Cool.
But also, I had mentioned something about Broga. I mean, you were talking, and so Broga is no longer.
Yeah. So, it's what I had to do is we just got to a point where we were getting busy and like choosing between like prime time slots and stuff like that. I just decided to nix. I used to have a ladies' night and a Broga class. You know? So obviously it was Broga for the dudes, ladies' night for the ladies.
Right.
But I just got to a point where classes were just getting too in demand, and I didn't want to necessarily have that anymore. So all my classes are just mixed now, and we have a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So I initially had it, I originally just wanted to have like the Broga side of it, just to get, like we talked about earlier, just to get guys into yoga, just so they can try it and get used to it. I'm like, well, I might as well have one for the ladies too. Yeah. And then that's what I did, and now that it's just kind of just equaled itself out, it's just one of those things that just naturally happen.
Hey, but good for your business. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
So kind of tell us a little bit about like contact us. Like if I wanted to like schedule an appointment, like what do I do?
So you can call us. Our phone number is 801-824-9642. That's 824 yoga, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, 824 yoga.
Score.
Yeah, definitely score there. You can call us, text us at that number. We have an online scheduling system. You can just go straight to our website. That's Volaire Inc. So that's VOLAIRE and inc.com, and you can just schedule, you can click to reserve your spots for our classes, for our yoga classes. You can get a hold of Megan through that as well. But you can call or text us too to set up any sort of appointment that you want to.
Sweet.
So Facebook, totally just look us up, Volaire Inc. On Facebook. If you want to follow, us on Instagram as well, it's just Volaire Inc. on Instagram.
Oh, sweet. I didn't know you guys have an Instagram.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I have my personal Instagram is just Yoga Bro Caden. So
yeah.
Caden. My name is Yoga Bro Caden. So
awesome. So Power Life Yoga.
Life Power.
Shoot.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's all good.
So so just kind of I guess I need to know if I were to say what kind of yoga studio is it?
So all of the stuff that we do is so we teach Ashtanga yoga, which is going to be your most traditional style, and then we teach Vinyasa yoga.
Okay.
So those are going to be our two main styles, and we also have Yin style yoga, which is going to be your more slow, relaxing stuff.
Yeah.
Then I teach the hot Vinyasa as well, so similar to that of Bikram, just being a hot yoga class where you're just going to sweat a ton, super detox, feel really, really good there. Ashtanga is, again, the most traditional form, so it's just very rhythmic and just continuous flow.
Yeah.
Really, really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Again, thanks for having coming in.
My pleasure.
Super fun.
Yeah, definitely. Good time.
But yeah, so there you go. We've learned a lot about yoga today. Had some fun.
Absolutely.
Talking about some old stuff, but also getting some people involved.
That's right.
Also, I've learned I don't have a fear of yoga or signing up for a yoga class now.
Yeah, good.
So
the first one's always the hardest. Just get it out of the way, clear your head, and just keep doing it.
And do yoga.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so there you go. So no need to have any fear of yoga. Also, if you're looking for that passion of wanting to start a business, we're actually going to go ahead and air this on a YouTube channel.
Sure.
We're actually just finishing up last week's segment. And you can find Tyler Lamp's segment. I've still got to get that. It's uploaded. I just got to get the link out there.
Nice.
I'm just waiting for a shorter version of it.
Cool.
So we'll do a long version of our segment here, but we'll also do a short segment as well.
Sweet.
And again, thanks to my tech guy, Jason, who's been helping me out with that as well.
Nice. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah. So it's been good being you guys here and also with Caden here.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us. But yeah, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and if anybody has questions, about doing their business thing, getting things up and running, I'm so happy to help with any questions.
Cool.
So just reach out to me with any of those other contact information that I've given you guys.
Awesome.
And I'm more than happy to help.
Cool. Yeah, and we'll have that on the Radio Slick page as well.
Sweet.
We'll have some of that contact information and also his following stuff that you can do over social media as well. But that does it for us. It's been super fun. Thanks for listening in. You guys have a good weekend. But don't go anywhere. We also have some more Slick Run radio for you by some students, so don't go anywhere. Peace.
Austin them keep doing your thing. Let these boys keep slipping, man. I'm not into gymnastics, but I'm into flipping things. I tell these women that it's all about a team.